Hello, good evening, everyone, and many thanks for joining us here on Rwanda Television. We hope you had yourselves a great end of the week. Now, top of our edition tonight, these are headlines.
Belgian and Rwandan doctors have started a liver and gallbladder surgery in the Kanombe Military Hospital, a move to reduce risks of developing liver cancer.
The Rwandan Investigation Bureau, RIB, announced on this Thursday that after finding out that some of the houses in the Rukumbuzi estate are of poor quality, some of those who are involved in this case have been arrested in order to further investigate on this issue.
Right, a very great evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa.
And I'm Martina Vera.
How are you, Martina?
I'm very good. How are you doing today?
Very, very great.
All right, so as we start off our edition tonight, let us inform you that on Thursday evening, President Paul Kagame chaired a cabinet meeting to discuss policies and strategies to sustain the country's economic development momentum. Also today at Urugwiro Village, President Paul Kagame received Professor Atish Dabholkar, Director of the International Center for Theoretical Physics, for a discussion on the ongoing collaboration between ICTP's East African Regional Center, the East African Institute for Fundamental Research, and the University of Rwanda.
Right, still on other matters, it just came on top this evening. Celebrations of the Eid al-Fitr will be placed on Friday, April 21st, and as a crescent moon has been sighted in Saudi Arabia. So the Eid al-Fitr, which means the festival of breaking off the fast, is celebrated at the end of Ramadan, a month when many adult Muslims fast. A communique issued by the Rwanda Muslim Council RMC on Thursday, April 20th, signed by the Mufti Salim Hitmana, informed Muslims about this particular development, and it was announced that tomorrow, Friday, will be a public holiday. Over to you, Martina.
Moving on to matters concerning the health sector, Belgian and Rwandan doctors have started liver and gallbladder surgery in the Kanombe Military Hospital, a move which is going to be reducing risks of developing liver cancer. This is part of the extensive surgery program for gastrointestinal diseases in Rwanda.
The management of Kanombe Military Hospital disclosed that among 18 people that were diagnosed, 8 people needed surgery. Gastroenterologist expert Dr. Christian Nyonzima highlights some of the signs of such diseases. They normally experience a lot of stomach pain and consistently lose a lot of weight. In some other cases, the gallbladder closes up and a person's stomach swells. 3 people have received the surgery from a medical team led by Professor Jean-Marc Rejambeau, a French gastroenterologist expert. He says diagnosing and discovering the sickness for people with gastrointestinal diseases increases chances to get cured, citing examples for liver, which can receive surgery and a patient can live longer.
Et donc, dans la chirurgie hépatique, il y a beaucoup de règles de sécurité pendant l'intervention.
Regarding liver surgery, there are procedures taken before doing the surgery on the damaged part. While doing that, we make sure that we leave another part of the liver so that the patient can still live normally even after the surgery. There are times we cut off a third or even half of the liver. After the surgery, the liver returns to its normal size, and a person can still live normally without any infections. In the first weeks, the liver expands by a half.
Et le foie a cette capacité remarquable de régénérer quasiment la moitié de ce qu'on a enlevé dans la première semaine.
Some of those who received the surgery expressed their gratitude. Whenever I could eat, my stomach would swell so much, and it required me to eat very little food and eat again after like an hour. Later, I started developing a constant dizziness, and sometimes I would unconsciously faint while at work. Now I feel better. There are many other people with such diseases and issues, so doctors should be increased. Medical experts say liver surgery is one of the most expensive medical treatments all over the world, which can cost up to 80 to 100,000 US dollars. Those who are receiving the service in Rwanda are using their medical insurances and at a low cost. Now, from medical to health, particularly regional security matters, Rwanda has once again reiterated on the path of resolving regional security issues, where the country noted that the cooperation of all parties involved and the implementation of the Nairobi and Luanda roadmaps are the key solutions to this particular issue. This was reiterated by Ambassador Clever Gatete, the permanent representative of Rwanda to the United Nations, while he was addressing the UN Security Council briefing on Great Lakes region. Adam Squizera.
Acts of violence, harassment, and hate speech against the Rwandophone and Tutsi ethnic in DRC have been escalating for decades. All these atrocities are done in the sight of DRC government, where even some of their top leaders support these atrocities and terrorist groups which are behind all these acts. While addressing the UN Security Council, Ambassador Clever Gatete emphasized that this security issue in the DRC is mainly caused by the role of their government, which is delaying to solve it.
The President of DRC, His Excellency Felix Tshisekedi, on the 13th April, during a joint press conference held with the President of Switzerland in Kinshasa, stated that he would not negotiate. He said, and I quote, "There is no way there will be political dialogue with M23," end quote. DRC's stance is disturbing, as declared hinders all regional and continental efforts geared towards achieving peace in eastern DRC.
Some of the political experts pointed out their concerns about the unwillingness of the DRC government in solving this security issue. There is one party which is not following it. Due to that, it was seen that M23 is willing to follow it, as we saw their withdrawal in some of the territories they captured. As to that, it was enough for the government of DRC to get impressed by that. But if they noted that they are not willing to negotiate, seems to that it can later produce a provocation which can lead to the war again. The partnership of the Kinshasa government and the terrorist group of FDLR are the one of the key points that was reiterated on during the UN Security Council briefing on the Great Lakes region, where Ambassador Gatete noted that the region's concern through this partnership on the DRC government and the terrorist group that perpetrated the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda.
I wish to remind that the UN-sanctioned terrorist group, FDLR, that carried out the genocide is still at large in the DRC. Furthermore, FDLR enjoys the support and the political shield that the DRC government provides while in active violation of UN sanctions. Since fleeing to the DRC 29 years ago, the group has persistently spread its genocidal ideology in the DRC, resulting in the killings of hundreds of thousands of Congolese Tutsi. This is in addition to multiple cross-border attacks on Rwanda. You may also recall that the United Nations Special Advisor on Genocide Prevention, Madame Alice Nderitu, has twice issued statements clearly indicating that FDLR is very active and spreading genocide ideology, and as a result, called for attention of the international community to the warning signs of a possible genocide happening in the DRC.
Currently, the situation in the eastern DRC has become worse after the statement of the President Felix Tshisekedi of that there will be no negotiation with the M23 rebel group. This came after its withdrawal from their several areas that have been captured. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adam Squizera, for that report. Now, the Rwanda Investigation Bureau, RIB, announced on Thursday that after finding out that some of the houses in the Urukumbuzi estate are of poor quality, some of those who are involved in this case have been arrested in order to further investigate on this issue. Olive Nete has more.
The Urukumbuzi estate is located in Chinya sector in Gasawa district and is made up of 130 buildings with various types of houses. Duplexes were among the houses that collapsed in this estate. After almost 8 years of the completion of the construction of these houses, some of them started to collapse due to poor construction quality. However, Uwera Grace, a resident in this estate, said that they tried to renovate the homes because it started having issues after they moved in.
iki kibazo twari tugifite ariko buri muntu wese yabiremaritse ageze mu nzu.
We've been having this problem for a while now, but everyone noticed it when they were already in these houses. We buy, but we are not engineers. So we bought the houses, but each person encountered problems. Some people tried to renovate depending on the situation they had. I renovated inside and outside as well. We had to demolish some of the parts and then reconstruct, and this is what you're currently seeing.
Bashyiraho igishahuro gishya ugatangira bushyashya, ubwo niko mubona hariya bimeze.
Grace is among those who are relocating due to this ongoing issue of poor construction quality in the estate. Particularly, her house was found to be having problems in the foundation. She's been living in this house for 5 years. She says that even though they were shocked to learn that they have to relocate as soon as possible, they appreciate the fact that the problem was noticed earlier, and this helped to avoid more damages.
Harimo rero ko twatunguwe kuko ntabwo twari twiteguye kujya aho tujya.
The first thing is we were surprised by this situation. We were not prepared for the relocation. There was no budget for such incidents. But on the other hand, we appreciate the fact that we have been saved because the houses would have fallen on us at any time. We are currently relocating.
Turimo turakuramo ibintu buhoro buhoro.
Currently, the city of Kigali is assisting people in the houses that have been found to be of poor quality to relocate. On Thursday, the Rwanda Investigation Bureau announced that it arrested some of the people that are directly linked to this issue and also emphasized that they are doing further investigation on the case.
Iperereza rero ry'ibanze ryagaragaje abantu batanu bafite aho bahuriye n'ibyo bikorwa.
The investigation has so far revealed 5 suspects that are linked to these activities, and those people are currently going under investigation. Those people include Kwamurangwa Stephen, the former mayor of Gasabo District, Berabayizi Raymond Chrétien, the former vice mayor of Gasabo District, Nyirabihogo Jean d'Arc, the former director of One Stop Center, Bizimana Jean-Baptiste, the engineer of Gasabo District, and Jean Sabimana, who is known as Dubai. They are currently in custody at Rape Station of Remera and Kimihurura. The investigation is ongoing, and when all the evidences will be put together as per the law, we will send the case to the prosecution, and the prosecution does what the law predicts, and then it will be sent to the court.
To date, 5 families that own houses in the Urukumbuzi estate are being assisted to relocate, along 18 others that had been renting homes in the estate, and 12 other families who own houses in the estate but have rented them out will be assisted with bank payments. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. Moving ahead, the extraordinary session of the Chamber of Deputies in the Rwandan Parliament approved the bill of the law on the digital ID usage. The Ministry of ICT and Innovation demonstrates that the implementation of this project is expected to cost around $40 million. Prince Manzi.
This bill of law demonstrates that this digital ID will be a compilation of various personal information, and amending and changing this information will be easily done, as explained by Paula Ngabire, the Minister of ICT and Innovation.
The big assignment ahead is linking this information to various systems, change them, and add more information needed in the digital ID. But because this digital ID has a way of changing info at the individual level, one can do it on his own, making it fast. The reason it was a bit difficult in the past is because most of the information were written in books, but now with this system, it will be easy.
This digital ID will favor stateless people as well as newborn babies to have identities.
Those called stateless people will also have identities, and it is in the government's plan to end statelessness like other countries. Another thing is registering newborn babies. Currently, when a child is born, he is given a number that is referred to when they are 16 years old and be given an ID, but now it will be possible to be given an ID at birth.
The Ministry of ICT and Innovation demonstrates that if the law is approved, the project will be implemented in 3 years with an expected cost of $40 million provided by the World Bank. After providing brief explanations on this bill of law, the plenary session of the Chamber of Deputies approved the bill of law on the digital ID usage, and they will be revised by the commission in charge. Prince Manzi, RTV News.
Psychologists say that knowing the history of the genocide against the Tutsi is one of the ways to heal the wounds and deal with trauma. On April 19th, hundreds of people, including Adeper church leaders, visited the Murambi Genocide Memorial in Nyamagabe district. It is a group of people coming from Kigali at the headquarters of Adeper and Huye, which consists of Huye, Nyaruguru, Nyamagabe and Gisagara district. The history of Rwanda was explained to them, including the origin of the ethnic groups and the basis for the planning and implementation of the genocide against the Tutsi. The head pastor of Adeper, Ndayizeye Isae, says that such activities of commemoration that help the Rwandan community to deal with the effects of the genocide should be included in the day-to-day life of the church, not only in the 100 days. We should be able to talk about the effects of it and discuss solutions that we can share with families all around. We need to make it our goal and prioritize it and make it part of our everyday lives, because it will accelerate our unity and reconciliation journey and provide healing as well. Another thing is that in the gospel given to Christians, emphasis should be placed on the points that teach them to condemn evil. Back then, hatred was being taught in churches. Today, love, unity and reconciliation should be preached as part of the gospel. Churches should be able to assess their sermons and adjust them accordingly, especially in these times, so that people can learn to separate themselves from evil. Currently, the leadership of Adeper is proud of this church that has mastered the element of unity and reconciliation that is shown by telling the truth and the role that it plays in healing the wounds derived from history. Mahoro Emanuela, Reconciliation Lighthouse Manager at Adeper, says that visiting the monuments and learning about history accelerates the process of unity and reconciliation and helps to deal with trauma. Here she comes back to what scientists call connecting a person with their history. Knowing your history is very important because you can't treat someone without knowing where they are coming from. There are counselors that deal with their patients' thoughts. We call that confrontation. You are helping one to connect with their past. One of the signs of trauma is avoiding your past. Helping someone heal from trauma is to help them come to terms with their past and move forward. A budget of more than 170 million has been planned to be spent on these 100 days commemorating the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi for the 29th time. Commemoration activities will be held in 140 places, while the planned activities are discussions on the history of Rwanda and acknowledgement of the survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi. This includes the rearing of livestock such as cattle, construction and repairing and constructing of houses.
Right, and from this we sum up our tonight's edition. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, thank you for being with us on this edition of Rwanda Television News. We'll say up until next time.
Stay safe.
And have a great evening.